Hello, my fellow makeup monsters. No, this is not a makeup tutorial. Did I freak you out? I hope I did. That was kind of my goal. This is kind of like my little kiss-ass kind of way of doing a rant video of my favorite band, Dir En Grey. For those of you who don't know, Dir En Grey is a Japanese heavy metal band. Some people like to argue that they're punk or rock or whatever. It's however you take it. Personally, I take it as heavy metal. That being said, I've been following this band since I was 15 or 16. Fell in love with them the first song that I saw from them. I just thought they were absolutely so cool and so awesome. And honestly, I was curious as to how I never came across them before, because I had been into Japanese music before. And I just never came across them before. So I was kind of like, where have they been all my life? Because at that time they were getting ready to celebrate their 10 years as a band. Okay, so now all that being said, as you all know, or most of you know, in 2011, Japan was hit by a really massive earthquake. I believe it was a 9.0 or 8.9. Really, there's a 0.1 difference. But anyways, it was a really strong earthquake. And it was very devastating. I know a couple of my friends that live in Japan were a little injured by it. Thankfully, nobody I knew lost their lives. However, they knew people that lost their lives, and it was just extremely devastating. During that time, Dir En Grey was in Japan at that time. They were in their studio and they were working on an album. Because of the events of the earthquake and everything and all the controversy that came out with Japan and everything, they decided to change their album that they were working on. So they came out with DSS, I'm going to say, because I don't know how to pronounce it correctly and I don't want to get chewed out for it. But anyway, it's Dum Spiro Spero or Dum Spiro Spero, however you want to pronounce it. It was a wonderful album. It was intense. It was all about the controversies going on in Japan, all the horrific things that were going under the table that nobody really knew about, or were trying to just turn their backs away from it to ignore it. Shortly after they came out with this album, of course, they were going to do a world tour. So they go to Europe, they go to South America, they go to all these wonderful places. They come to the US, and unfortunately, due to Kyo's health, Kyo, for those of you that may not know, in heavy metal music there is a lot of screaming, and with Dir En Grey there is a lot of screaming, and it's not like the typical screaming. There's highs and low screamings, so he's putting his vocals through a lot of stress. That being said, he did develop some polyps on his vocal cords and had to take a break, and unfortunately that was right at the time that they were supposed to come to the US. Now, I'm not mad at that at all. That was completely understandable. That was an entire health concern for Kyo, and it was a serious situation where he was considering surgery on his vocal cords. And to inform you guys about vocal polyp removals, it can destroy vocal cords. There is a possibility of not being able to hit certain notes or anything, or even speaking like the way you did before when it comes to polyp removal surgery. Now we got that out of the way. So he ended up doing a different form of recovery, where instead of going into surgery, he decided to do some kind of therapy with his vocals. From my understanding, it helped a lot to where his polyps were nearly 100% gone. I do understand that he still goes through struggles of it. Now that we are all caught up, late last year, Dir En Grey finally came back to the United States and they did a big old tour. Nothing wrong with that, right? So you'd think. Here's where my problem starts. First off, every tour, it seems, unless it's a joint tour with another band, they skip over Vegas. Why? What's so wrong with Vegas? Considering in some circumstances it's a small city, yes, but it is a city of entertainment, just like New York and LA. So as to why that they're skipping over Vegas and going to these other cities, personally, I don't understand it, and I'm kind of a little bit insulted by it. My next argument with this particular tour, back in 2010, I had the fortunate grace, I guess you could say, of having the ability of meeting my idol, which was Kyo, but also Dir En Grey as a whole. And I got to shake their hands, I got to take a picture with them, I got to speak my Japanese to them, the Japanese that I knew. I got to do all that. And they were really nice. I mean, they were kind of quiet into themselves, but they were really nice, and they were very, you know, flexible. I mean, you know, if you wanted to stand next to them, the others would move, you know, very polite, rather nice. It was all well and good. And if you guys want to see that picture of me with Dir En Grey, here it is. So as you see, I'm in there with them, taking my picture with them, and honestly, it was like the best day of my life. I got to meet them, I got to shake their hands, and Kyo almost broke my hand. But he death grips that mic, so it's kind of understandable by habit. He just squeezes. Anyway, here's the frustrating part. I got to have that wonderful experience when meeting them. These people of this last tour late last year didn't. They got the rotten end of the stick, and here's what I mean. There's a page that I follow on Facebook. And I'm not going to name names, and I'm not going to say where you can find the pictures at, but, you know, if you happen to come across it, then that's on you. But they started posting the pictures of the meet and greets from last year. I threw a tantrum, and if you actually look in the comments of some of them, you might actually see my comments in there. They put a railing in between them and their fans. And even in some of the meet and greets, they put a bench so the fans could sit down, and while they stood up behind them. I have to take a deep breath to get into this because it makes me so mad. Where do they get to think that they are like gods to where they put a separation between them and their fans? First off, if it weren't for the fans, you guys wouldn't have the luxuries that you have. Sorry, Kyo, but $16,000 shoes, really? Here's our little intervention, Kyo. Maybe you need to understand that where that money comes from, okay? Not only that, they looked miserable. They looked like they would rather get shot in the foot than stand there any longer and take pictures with people. They seriously looked miserable. I mean, granted, in my picture, they didn't look very happy either, but they looked better than they did in those pictures. But those people have that memory of them meeting them, their idols, as like a painful experience for their idol. That's for the rest of their lives. I mean, that's... Deep breath, Sarah. That's just rude. Straight up rude. And it shows arrogance and just plain out inconsideration. I'm getting so mad. So mad. These people spend their own money, whether they have it or not, to spend the extra dollars to meet them. And it's like that they didn't even care about that fact coming in. It was like they just cared that they're there. Okay, these are how many people paid. Okay, I get to buy this. I get to buy $16,000 shoes. Can you tell I'm frustrated by that? But where does he get the audacity to spend $16,000 shoes, and he doesn't even appreciate his fans for it? I mean, seriously. Now, here's really where they kind of make up for it. There was an interview that each member of the band did for this documentary that they're coming out about how they go through their process of writing songs, creating an album, and doing tours for the promotion of the album. One of the questions that Kyo was asked, there are some opinions of fans or staff supporting Dir En Grey in the footage. But what's good about the fans and staff for you personally? Is what he was asked. He responded with, they are the sixth member. I roll my eyes, and here's why. I've never seen such a kiss-ass move ever. Really. Ever. Obviously, they probably got shit for those meet and greets that they did. They obviously showed that they didn't care. And in previous interviews from Kyo, same guy who just said that the fans and staff are the sixth member, same guy, previously was interviewed about how he feels about the response of fans to his music. He said it does not matter to him because he does not write the music for the fans. He writes it for himself. Again, while there's nothing wrong with that, when the fans are paying your bills, there is something wrong with that. The contradictions of Kyo is just, it's really irritating. It's like either you appreciate your fans or you don't. And if you don't, you should retire because this is all about fans. Next, if you do appreciate your fans, then show it. When you're in those meet and greets, actually look like you're having a good time. Actually look like that you're excited to meet your fans. Look like that you actually appreciate them, for crying out loud. Next. Okay. Sukekyo. Yeah, okay, let's talk about that. Okay, Dir En Grey, members of the band, they are taking little side projects to kind of help out the band, I guess. Like, they're taking these side projects to help themselves improve and then bringing it back into Dir En Grey. Fine, great, whatever, okay. Kyo has started another band as his side project, and it's called Sukekyo. Here's where I laugh about that. Kyo is like a master of wordplay. Now, here's why I think he purposely picked the name Sukekyo. In Japanese, the Japanese word for awesome is sugoi. The male slang word for that is suge. You see where I'm going with this? Suge kyo. Sukekyo. I think he purposely did that. Anyway, now there's a song called, from this band, called the Demons Cutlery. It's just noise. I mean, very poor, unorchestrated noise. It didn't appeal at all to what I figured Kyo would do as far as a side project. Next, their song Aftermath. Well, this one is a better song. It sounds just like Dir En Grey. So what's the point of doing a side project with a different band if they end up just sounding like the band that you're originally in anyway? I don't know. So anyways, that's my rant. I just had to get that off my chest. I've been holding on to it for so long. So long. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to comment down below. I will respond as fast as I possibly can. If you want to see how I got this look, please stay tuned. I will be posting a makeup tutorial video here soon. I already recorded it and everything, so you guys can see. This will be male friendly as well for a Halloween look or whatever look you guys would like it to be. Stalk me appropriately, and here's how you do it. Facebook.com/YinYangSara. Also Twitter and Instagram spelled the same way, @YinYangSara. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because I do makeup tutorials throughout the year, as well as I do a daily vlog for single parents, as well as just parents in general. Even non-parents. So people! Yin-yang is a balance, and the balance lies within yourself. I hope you guys have a great day. So glad I finally got this out to you guys. My thing is flashing at me because my memory's full. I love you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.